baddest builds to date. If you guys want to do damage in any game mode, you guys want to be able to get through that content quick. Are you not feeling the love from your teammates? Saying you're not throwing down the damage like you should be, sending you back to the White House to farm some more on Countdown. Well, this is for you right here. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Alright, guys. Your specialization is going to be the number one specialization out, and I'm going to tell you why. Gunner. The reason why Gunner is the best one, when you join on your teammates and they're running all those directives on Heroic and they got that ammo hoarders on, how you getting ammo? Right? You got to pull that pistol out. You got to go get you some kills, which may not be the easiest thing to do with your teammates killing everybody, or you're not getting the kills with your pistol. Whatever it may be, Gunner's going to give you ammo while you're doing nothing. While you're playing, Gunner's going to be dumping ammo into your weapon, or excuse me, into your ammo cache every so often. I think it's like every 60 seconds or something like that. I would have to look and show you guys, which we will. We'll go to the specialization tree and I'll show you. I cannot talk enough about Gunner. There's plenty of other good specializations, but Gunner is number one. Playing the harder content. Alright. Our number one weapon we're using today is going to be the Ouroboros. Alright. This weapon is obtainable from the Incursion. If you guys need help getting through the Incursion, drop your PSN down below. We'll get you through there, get you the gun, no problem. Or you can always join up with one of our respective clans. We have a few. You can join up here on Grown Folk. If you're interested in joining us or one of the other clans, comment below and I'll get back with you on that as well. Grown Folk for now is an open clan, which means you can just join up. If you would like to, you just go to your clan tab and type it in and hit join. We'd love to have you. Don't matter your build, your level, anything like that. We'll get you where you need to be. And if you come in where you need to be, great. We can't wait to run with you. Alright, for our, like I said, the primary is going to be the Ouroboros. If you do not have this weapon, you can use the Vector. You can use the named version of the Vector, the 45 version. It works great with this build as well. I keep the lefty for my secondary for obviously the talent, perfect sledgehammer in the Incursion. That is invaluable. I mean, it is. I mean, you absolutely need this talent to smash through them bosses very easily. You guys can look at our runs out on the videos that we have out, how to run the Incursion. We do have a video out on that. We run it in great time. We do have Flawless out on that as well. If you need Flawless for the Incursion, hit us up as well. We'll get you through there. But Lefty's a good secondary. Proc your sledge, switch back to your primary, and just do damage. Alright, so those are weapons. Ouroboros, if you do not know about this gun, I have mine rolled to damage targets out of cover. It is God rolled out. The talent on it is rule them all. When the agent has a status effect applied to them, 50% of the ammo in their next magazine will apply the same status effect to their targets. This effect will only occur during combat. And we know the lefty, mine is also rolled with damage targets out of cover. God rolled with 24 expertise. My Ouroboros has 25% expertise. Perfect sledgehammer. Dealing damage with a grenade applies a mark on target. Targets with mark will take 40% more damage to armor and have a 30% movement speed debuff, while marks will disappear after 10 seconds. So you have one of your guys smash the boss with a grenade. boom, everybody else gets that sledgehammer as well, not just the guy doing it. The whole team gets it. And you guys are all going to do 40% more damage. That's why it takes out bosses so easy. Alright, our mask, we're going to be running Coyote's mask. 2 reasons we're running this mask. Obviously, for the talent, Pack Instincts. You and all allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. 0 to 15 meters, which is where we're going to be with our SMG. We get 25% critical hit damage, which is what we need because we're stacking a lot of crit chance with our Ouroboros, with our build. So that 25% crit damage is great to have just on the mask. 15 to 25, 10% critical hit damage, 10% critical hit chance. 25 meters out, you're getting 25 critical hit chance, which is good for those guys that are using rifles or those guys that are using sniper rifles. They're a little further back. They can use that crit hit chance buff because they probably don't have it too much on their build. Alright guys, so there's your mask. We're going to step it on down to the chest piece. With this build, we're going to be using a Sokolov chest piece. Running all crit chance, crit damage. We have a 12% crit damage mod on there. And we're running Obliterate. And I'll get to why we're running Obliterate here shortly. For our holster, we are running a Striker holster. Also, weapon damage, crit chance. It's also got 17% rolled on it for expertise. Our knee pads are also Striker. They have armor and crit chance, also 17% expertise. Striker gloves, weapon damage, 17% expertise. Crit hit damage is attribute. And last but not least, a Striker backpack. And the reason we're running the backpack is because of the talent it gives us. Risk management. Increase total weapon damage gained per stack of Striker's Gamble from 0.65 to 1%. So now we're getting 1% per stack at 100 stacks. So Striker's Gamble, as you see right here, weapon hits increase total weapon damage by ours is going to be 1%, not 0.65. So weapon damage by 1% stacking up to 100 times. 1 stack lost per second between 0 and 50 stacks. 2 stacks lost per second between 50 and 100 stacks. Stacks aren't hard to get with our Ouroboros because we're laying so much lead on target. So we're building stacks like crazy. And we're also building at the same time Obliterate stacks. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 25 times. So Obliterate is stacking with Striker's Gamble. So now you're hitting 2% harder per stack. You get 1% from Obliterate, 1% from Striker's Gamble. 2% weapon damage per stack. Let's just say you're hitting really hard. Really hard. Okay? So we're stacking Striker's Gamble now. And we're stacking Obliterate. Okay? And we have weapon handling. We have an extra 15% rate of fire on our already high RPM Ouroboros. We're throwing out 1,688 rounds per minute. And every bullet shoots straight on target. Straight on target. You are wiping guys with this build. Alright. Go down to your skills here. So depending on the game mode that I'm in, so let's say that I was in the Incursion, I would be switching back and forth between a decoy and a shield. Always keeping a Reviver Hive. If you play hard content without the Reviver Hive, great for you. In a team-based game mode like the Incursion, it may not be for you. But if one of my teammates goes down, right, I want to be able to get him back up without having to run all the way over there to him, do the action to kneel down and get him up. I can just toss him that hive, boom, he's up, right? So we're also running a drone, has 19% expertise, which means it's hitting 19 times better than it normally would. So let's take a look at that drone real quick. So as you can see, we have striker damage 19%. So some of you are going to be asking me, Rogue, why aren't you running the chest piece and the backpack of striker and just run a Sokolov holster or whatever? Well, that's because, guys, I don't need 200 stacks. So I've played with that type of build. For one, in a team event, you're not going to reach 200 stacks. You're just not. And if you do get to 200 stacks, you're losing 2 stacks every second. As you've seen it tell you. Strikers gamble above 50 to 100 and 100 to 200, you're losing 2 stacks per second. It's not worth it. Put on something that does damage for you. It's just the way it is. I dare you to try this build. If you do try this build, you will be thanking me later. It will get you through any content. You can use this build in a raid. For instance, if I was to use this in a raid and I wasn't an SMG guy, I would throw on a Fenris chest piece with Obliterate, and I would switch up to a St. Elmo's. Simple, boom. Same build frame, but now I'm running in AR instead of an SMG. And I'm still throwing out the same amount of damage. Alright, guys? You don't have to have this expertise on here to make this build work. Don't let that deter you from it. As long as you use Striker how it's intended to be used and build your stacks at the right time, it is the best build out. And it is a meta, and it's going to continue to stay a meta until they buff it. Or excuse me, debuff it. So, or nerf it, whatever you want to call it. So, use it. You know, we don't have to be those guys like, oh, I don't want to use the meta. The meta is there to be used. It's there to get you through the content easier. Just use it. For the sidearm, we are using the Orbit. I rarely pull this out and I rarely use it because I don't need it. I'm already throwing enough damage. But you can use any weapon you like. Totally up to you. Sidearm is your decision. I run the concussion grenade because it's needed for the incursion when we're trying to help our buddies proctor perfect sledgehammer. So whoever's going to proc sledgehammer needs to have the lefty out. The other person can throw the grenade, or actually, I'm sorry, the person with the lefty needs to throw the grenade. And then they can switch back, do damage with the Oro after that. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, anything that I did not cover in this video about this build, or how you obtain any of these pieces, or if you need help running for these pieces, we got you. Comment down below. I'll get right back with you as soon as I can and try to help you with anything that you have questions with. Alright guys, until the next one, Evil Rogue out.